Rental dwelling and rental condo policies can be considered commercial policies. Some insurance carriers underwrite these policies under personal lines due to the similarity of coverage. Let's first take a look at rental dwelling policy. Rental dwelling policies are policies designed for owners who rent out their dwelling for tenancy. Being a property owner who does not live at their residence, they would need the following coverages: structural, limited personal property, liability, and loss of rent instead of loss of use. Evaluation of structural coverage for a rental dwelling is similar to that of a homeowner's policy when an appraisal, insurance calculator, or an estimate from a contractor can be used. The major difference between a homeowner and a rental dwelling policy is that the need for personal property is limited. Unless the owner decides to rent out their property fully furnished, most owners will have limited property at rental premises. Items that could be furnished are refrigerators, dishwasher, washer and dryers, and microwaves, all of which are at minimum cost. Most rental dwellings will offer about 10% of the dwelling for personal property, and this tends to be sufficient. To ensure that the client has enough coverage, a detailed inventory can be taken to get the correct replacement cost. As a note, rental dwelling may or may not include replacement costs for personal property and extended replacement costs for the dwelling. There are policies where there are options and have to be endorsed at an additional cost. Careful evaluation is important, and discussion with the client is pertinent to ensure that the client is properly covered as needed. Consideration for liability and medical coverage in a rental dwelling policy is different than that of a homeowner policy. There are liability exposures for the landlord, from the tenants and their tenants' visitors. Quality maintenance of the property may also expose the owner to additional potential liability. Due to this reason, high liability and medical coverage are recommended. In my agency, I usually quote no less than $10,000 of medical coverage and $1 million of liability for my rental dwellings, and in many cases, we will also discuss an umbrella policy as part of the package. When a property becomes uninhabitable due to a covered loss, the owner may experience loss of rents as the tenant has to fund temporary housing or a permanent move from the property. Due to this reason, most rental dwelling policies will offer loss of rent coverage to replace the loss of income. Most policies offer 12 months of replacement and can be increased for an additional cost. How much time does the client need will depend on the estimate of how long it would take in the market area to repair or rebuild a property once it is damaged. A rental condo unit policy is a policy that covers a condo owner that rents out their condo for tenancy. This policy has all of the features of a condo policy with only two major differences: loss of rent instead of loss of use, and limited personal property coverage. Consideration of these coverages and that of liability and medical coverage are similar to that of rental dwelling policy, so I would recommend that you review that section for better understanding of how to evaluate these coverages.